More Greek news. Well, we know the people of Greece voted no on the referendum the other day, and a lot of folks are criticizing this. They're critical of it. They're saying that, Greece committed suicide and they lost the gambit. But as I see it as democracy winning out over fascism, at least politically and at least for a short time. Anyway, the Greek Euro masters, right? They're hell-bent on destroying this country and making it an example for anyone else who would dare defy that finance mafia. That's what I've been saying for a long time. What's interesting, though, is that along with all the cheers for Greece, and there were a lot, I read a lot of people who were blaming the Greeks, saying that, they're lazy and they don't work. And it was all because of decades of not paying their taxes and spending too much, yada, yada, all that stuff. First of all, just some facts, okay? Statistically, the Greeks work more hours than any other workers in Europe, okay? More than the Germans. Who knew, right? Secondly, Greece was never a perfect place. I mean, come on, let's face it. Probably wasn't even perfect back in the days of Socrates and Plato and Aristotle. But let me tell you something. This is one Greek tragedy that we have never seen before. I mean, sure, Greece had plenty of problems in the past, even when it had the drachma. In fact, under the drachma, but the country functioned at some level. The Greek people had a decent life. They had food, right? They had jobs. They had their pensions. They had inflation sometimes, yes. Okay, and it was annoying, but life went on. And I visited Greece many times back in the 80s, took vacations there, and it was a fantastic place. It was a fun place. Okay, maybe it wasn't New York City or LA or Chicago or London, but I mean, who cares, right? You think those places are so great and they don't have problems? Now, there's people out there saying really vicious and nasty things, which I don't understand. They're saying things like the Greek people should starve. I mean, who are these sadistic sociopaths that's saying stuff like this? People say that the Greeks stole from everybody. Like, stole from who? I mean, that comment is absolutely ridiculous. If anything, Greece was the one that got played, all right? It was played by the Wall Street gang and a handful of global financiers. And that's the same gang that is so utterly rife with criminality and corruption that it's mind-blowing to me that anyone nowadays would consider them the good guys and Greece the bad guy. I mean, how many times do we have to see this finance group admit to guilt, to money laundering, tax evasion, market rigging, market manipulation, insider trading? I mean, how many times do we have to see them admit to that to understand that they are absolutely, unequivocally a bunch of criminals? Now, Greece was a patsy in all this, all right? Greece was set up. And when the financial criminals still lost all their money, despite setting Greece up as being the mark, and despite them rigging all the bets and the accounting fraud that they used, they threw a hissy fit and demanded every penny back, every euro back, even if the Greek people had to starve in the process. And Europe and our own government right here in the United States backed these demands. Okay, where's Obama? Where's Obama on this, decrying, the outrage of all this? And it's outrageous. This is worse than anything that the mafia ever did. The mafia never preyed on innocents. If you were in another mafia gang, yeah, you could have a problem, but they never preyed on innocents. These people have no morals and no ethics whatsoever. They are the worst, And then I hear people making analogies like, oh, our family decided to have a referendum and we're going to tell our mortgage company to screw off. We're not paying. Now, what is that? I mean, this is a clueless, ridiculous thing. Since when can a bank take away your income, take away your savings, your job, your productivity and any future means of making a living, and then say, fuck you, pay me my money, and if you don't pay on the day that it's due, then I'm going to take the food off your table and let you fucking starve. I'd like to see anyone pay back their debt under those conditions. Now, this is fascism 100%. You know, the world went to war twice because of this. And by the way, speaking of war, the country that started 2 wars against the entire world, okay, I'm talking about Germany, that's the country that is pressing Greece the hardest right now. All right? Germany has played a big part in Greece's plight, you know, by taking a hard line and wanting strict adherence to debt repayments. But my question is, where does Germany come off thinking that it has the moral high ground in all of this? Okay? Here's a country that, like I said, started 2 world wars, okay? Declared war against the whole entire world twice. And if you want to know about debt repayment, Germany never paid back all of its debts. Never, okay? Most of that debt was canceled, by the way, Greece was one of the signatory nations on, you know, that cancellation. So really, Angela Merkel, you know, you need to take a history lesson here or shut the fuck up, okay? Anyway, folks, that's the story of Greece. You could be for Greece, you could be against Greece. That's your choice. But blaming Greece is like voluntarily throwing your lot in with a bunch of criminals and fascists. I know where I stand. That's it for now. This is Mike Norman saying see you next time. Bye-bye.